Hey folks, Pilot Mark here, co-pilot Jimmy, munching on a treat over there. Okay, as you know from the thumbnail photo, I got a new project going on. Those of you who follow my channel at all may know that I recently found an AMA approved field here in my area of Seattle, and that I recently became an AMA member, so I can use that field. And I was going to go try out that field pretty soon, but I decided to wait until I moved to Oregon in about 3 weeks. I decided just to wait, because to drive to that field, it's really out of the way and bad traffic. It's just, it's a drive I really don't want to have to do. So I'm just going to wait until I get to Bend, Oregon, and then I'll resume flying my Maul and my Carbon Cub S2 there. So we'll do that. In the meantime, and my crawler had been sitting in storage for a long time, so now I've been getting back into my crawler, as you can tell from some recent videos I posted. So here's my latest project, which is crawler oriented, as will be all my videos for the next several weeks. Not that there will be very many, but here and there. Anyway, so the new project is this. I'd like to have a winch on my Axial SCX10II 55 Ford. Really more than anything else, just because it's scale. It looks scale, and it actually functions. So I just would like to have that on the truck, even though I would rarely use it, because I don't know, I've been crawling a long time, and it's really rare that I would ever have to winch myself out. So I'd mostly like to have it on there just because it looks cool and it actually works at scale, Yeah. So there you go. But it would be cool to have it work, and sometimes if I just get myself into a real hairy spot, which happens on occasion, well, then I could winch myself out and it'd be just extra fun. Okay, so anyway, so I've looked on Amazon. Everything on Amazon that I could find had pretty much terrible reviews. And my experience in the past, I had a winch set up in the past that I got from Amazon, and it was terrible. It lasted for about 5 minutes. It didn't even last for the first crawl. After I got it installed, I tested it pulling it out. That was fine. Tested it going back in, and then when it's going back in, it failed and broke and wouldn't work anymore. That's as far as I got. Pardon me. So I looked on Amazon for winch setups, and there's two or three of them, and they all have, at best, okay reviews at best. Most of them have bad or terrible reviews, so I'm not going to take a chance on another one of those, iffy, sketchy, unknown quality Amazon winch setups, okay? Now, the only winch setup for RC that I know that's worth spit is the Warn, W-A-R-N, and of course, as you know, they also make full-size winches for full-size trucks. But man, a Warn winch is so expensive, and everything's separate. The winch, okay, you get the winch, that's all you get. You don't get the controller, you don't get the receiver, everything's separate, So by the time you add all the little separate parts up to have a working, functioning winch from Warn, you're looking at $200-300, something like that. It's pretty high. Battery, it's pretty high. Everything's quite expensive, The winch is like a couple hundred, and the receivers and about 100, and all the stuff. The controller, I guess it's called the controller. Yeah, the remote controller, that's another 100 or so. It's really expensive. I could do it, but it wouldn't be. I don't feel like I'm getting that much money's worth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spend that much for something that will mostly be a visual scale accessory, although functional as well, and I'll use it for once in a while. But it's just too much money to spend. It just is. In my opinion, everything's got a price where if it goes above a certain price, it just ain't worth it. So I came up with another idea. I came up with this idea yesterday because I was crawling yesterday, and I found my spare axial motor. I'm going to grab that up here, actually. Can I grab it? No, I can't. Anyway, I found my spare axial motor that I've got in my toolbox just for standing by purposes for my axial. And so I was thinking about this idea of trying to make my own winch. And my idea was and is this. I take my second motor for my Axial SCX10II, I install it in the truck, wherever is the best place to fit it, okay? And that is going to be wired into the lead, the motor lead from the receiver. So basically it'll be a Y cable coming out of the receiver, out of the throttle receiver port, if you will. All right. So now there's one motor plugged into the throttle port on the receiver. I'm going to have a Y cable. It'll go one from the throttle port on the receiver out to two outputs, right? And so one will go to the motor on the truck that runs the truck. The second one will go to the second axial motor, identical to the one that drives the truck. So I'll have two motors running off the same receiver. So when I give it gas on the and I got my new thumb steering set up here, but when I do gas on the throttle to move the truck, the second motor will turn at the same exact speed. So the idea is that, and I haven't got it all worked out yet, but the idea is that, so I found something on Amazon that was useful. It was a RC crawler, a tow hook, and cable on a wheel, a pulley wheel, which the cable winds up on, and that's all you get. And supposedly you get a 360-degree servo, and you attach that pulley wheel to it. But if it only turns, and then it runs off your receiver, and so, anyway, so if it's only going to be on a servo that turns 360 degrees, that'd be like this, right, 360 degrees. Well, if you have cable, hooked to that, it's only going to wind around, it's only going to pull you this far. That's all the pull you're going to get. Just one turn of the wheel is the only amount of pull you're going to get. That's not going to pull you over any obstacles. And the reviews are all real terrible. So, and it's got a hole in the center of that pulley, obviously, to mount it on something. So my thought is to mount that wheel and hook on the second motor, right? So that when I squeeze the throttle to move the truck, it'll turn the motor that moves the truck. It'll also turn at the same speed the motor that would reel in the winch hook, right? But here's the problem. Obviously, I have to only I'd have to have it set up where if I'm going to winch myself up something, I'm going to have to open the body, attach the cable to the pulley inside the second motor in the truck, right, and run that hook out to my attachment point. Then I put the body back down. Then I've got my truck here, and I've got my winch line running up to where it's tied, up here. Whatever, not tied, but you know what I mean. I've got my hook hooked into something up here, and I got my cable running down here to the bumper of the truck, and then my winch cable goes through the bumper and inside the truck to my pulley that's on my second winch motor, right? So, like I said, so I open the body, I attach the pulley and cable assembly to the motor, tighten it. Actually, I run the cable out to my attachment point, to my anchoring point. Then I attach the cable, the rest of the cable that's wrapped on the pulley wheel, I attach that to my second motor, all right? And then I reinstall the body. So right now, I've got a cable coming out of the truck and going to my anchor point, and the cable is taut against the wheel of the second motor so that when I throttle to move the truck forward, the wheels will turn as I want, even when winching. And at the same time as the wheels are turning, the pulley on the second motor will be reeling in that cable. You see what I mean? I think it'll work. I think it'll work really well. And I've got a picture of the thumbnail photo. I got a picture in my thumbnail photo for this video, as you already know, if you're watching this. But it shows the little assembly that I bought. So there you go. So the only what? It's pretty much a piece of cake, except for I want to figure out a quick and easy way. Well, can I start over? I just have to. I was gonna say I got to figure out a quick and easy way to attach and disattach the hook, for when it's in use and then not in use. But that's easy. Lift the body, install the spool and the hook with the hook already pulled out to its desired length. Tighten it on the shaft of the second motor. Body down. Crawl and winch your way out. Stop. Open the body. Undo the securing screw that holds the pulley and the cable on. Pull that off. Put your cable back in there, and I'll have a place to stow that winch, cable, and pulley wheel. That's the idea. So I ordered the pulley and cable, and it's coming tomorrow. And I've already got the second motor I'm going to grab that motor real quick. Here we go. Let's grab the motor here. Let's grab it. Let's grab it. I'm in the Mazda CX-9 at the park, as I am every day, until we move to Oregon, me and Jimmy. Then we're going to be living large, folks. Jimmy and I are going to be living large when we get to Oregon, because it's going to be a small town kind of a feel again. Alright, motor. Digging around, searching for the motor. Here it is. Whoa. There's my motor. There we go. See? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Why don't I? Let's do it. Pulling off this axial motor packaging. Alright. That's right. Old-fashioned technique, using teeth to open stuff. That's right. Old school. Open. By the way, I like these axial motors. I like everything about the axials, but I like the motors because they put up with a lot of stuff. So anyway, there's the motor, right? So let's see. Yeah, there's the motor. What's the best way to show it? Like this. There's the motor like that. Yeah. So when it's time to winch, I attach the pulley with the cable on it, tighten it. Actually, when it's time to winch, I put the pulley on the shaft, slip it on here, right? And then I go ahead and pull out the cable to the desired length. Then I tighten the pulley on the shaft, right? And then I press the trigger, and this will turn right along with the motor, just like I said. But that's how it'll be. The pulley will be on this shaft here, and the cable will wrap around it. And so before I winch myself, I'll take the pulley with the cable wrapped around it, and I'll put it on here. And before securing it, I'll pull out the cable until it's the desired length. Then I'll secure it. Then I simply operate the truck as normal. All right, see ya. I think it'll work. We'll find out. Happy crawling, happy flying, and just happy everything. See you later.